Hey guys, and welcome back to another build video. Today I'm going to be doing a build of my healer build, or Neela build. And the reason why I wanted to make a healer build is because I've never been a proper healer in WoW. Whether it's been old WoW back in Wrath when I used to play, or whether it's been now I'm the highest healer like level 16. So I was, okay, custom realm, well let's have a healer build that works for me. And the essence of this build is it can do damage while also being able to heal to a decent degree and not die. And that's beneficial, right? Not dying. So this build is my leveling / dungeon healer build. So this is designed to be able to do leveling content, so leveling through quite not super fast, but quite slowly, but then not one quest a day. It takes about an hour really to do a few quests, maybe to level an hour. Not that bad. To do dungeons as well at the same time without having less heals or reducing the heal output of it. At level 17, as you can see, I was getting boosted by level 60 because I was queuing for 6 hours trying to get into a dungeon and no one was doing it. There was 3-4 of us in queue and just no. So I just asked in the guild, guys, can a level 60 boost me through Dead Mines? And a lot of people came along. So it's beneficial, right? And I wanted to show it off in all its glory, hence the reason why it's slightly different build video to my last one, but it's a healer build and you can't kind of say, look, this healer build works without actually showing off the heals it's giving out. So just to give an excuse a little bit, it is very low, hence the reason why its healing output and damage is not super high, but it does have Frostbolt, as you can see on the bottom bar, so the damage is essentially one hit wonder, but the heals are generally awesome. So now I'm going to go into why and how to build it from level 1 upwards like I usually do, but obviously with this playing through, so it's a little bit entertaining. So from level 1, you essentially want to stack in intellect and spirit. Stamina is beneficial, but obviously you can talent for spirit and you gear for spirit, and the first few bits of gear have spirit in. So once you hit level 15, don't stack in stamina, or spirit really, because a lot of the gear at that level have a lot of spirit and stamina in it for survivability. Intellect is more of an issue, so you want to have a large percentage of intellect at level 15 upwards. You want to have more intellect than spirit or stamina. So from level 1, ability-wise, the first ability you should get, other than your quick shot, your strike, and your arcane bolt that you get at level 1 from Ascension, as the Ascension basic abilities, you have a choice. You can either survive with Arcane Bolt for a while, or you can just instantly learn Frostbolt at level 2 and just keep it, because it is excellent. It's quite high damage, it's not got a massively long cast time, but it can be reduced with talent investment, and it's only 5, so it's beneficial. And also Frost Mages are generally pretty cool, and they also go against the whole vanilla expansion's fire element, so it's beneficial to a degree. So to begin with, you want to get Frostbolt at level 2. Nothing, no dual wield, no nothing. So Frostbolt level 2, and then at level 4, you want to get lesser heal as a heal, so obviously you can survive, and it's not too tricky. But also, if you're a healer, you kind of need a heal. And then you want to get level 6, you want to get Fireball. Now this is something you'll have till level 10, as it kind of stores the AE, the ability essence for your Voidwalker, which you can see next to me is not doing anything because he's not attacked, I'm just healing. But he's very beneficial to have if something attacks me. So your Firebolt level 6 stores your 2 AE for your Voidwalker. And then at level 8, you want to invest in, I think you can get Drain Soul. I'm not too sure about Drain Soul. It was only just to cast my Voidwalker. So if you don't like Voidwalkers and you don't want to Drain Soul, Imps are always good, but not great for a healer in my opinion, as they don't take aggro. As a healer, you want to be able to just sit in the back, essentially not take damage, and just heal your Voidwalker. It is possible to heal your Voidwalker without Health Funnel. So you don't need to spend that 2 AE or 1 AE or whatever it is into a health funnel. So Drain Soul is a preference, and so is a Void Walker, but I recommend it as it's just generally beneficial. You can go Hunter Pet at level 6 and get it at level 11, but Hunter Pets have some form of weird, your heals do a lesser effect, whereas on a Void Walker it's the same effect. It's weird. Don't quite understand. Yeah, at level 8, if you're not planning to get a Hunter Pet, you want to invest in Life Tap, as Life Tap generates mana for health. It's a pretty big Warlock ability, and it's very commonly used in a healer sort of build because it's beneficial. And Spellcaster's a little bit too. You only get Life Tap at level 8 with also Lesser Heal, Frostbolt, and Firebolt. And then when you hit level 10, instead of spending your 2 AE, you want to unlearn Fireball and learn Drain Soul and Voidwalker at the same time, and then go to a level 1 zone and just drain the soul of everything you come across. You are limited to 32, but you need one to cast the first cast, and it's a permanent thing. So at level 10, drain soul and Voidwalker and go to a low level zone and just drain the souls out of everything you see. It may give you 1, it may give you 0, but obviously have an experiment and see which one gives the most and which one is easiest to do and more likely that you're going to survive. Obviously, if you're level 10 and you can survive at level 10, then that's fine. Then go that. The next ability is at level 12, and you want to get, as you can see on the right hand bar, the one just under my bags, it's Blessing of Wisdom, as it increases your mana regen, and this is very important. Your mana regen is very important, as you're a mana user, but also the fact that Life Tap might not be able to give you the mana you need, but also it does take away health. So to reduce the spamming of Life Tap, Blessing of Wisdom is beneficial. And also stacking the Intellect at low level reasonably, not too much. Obviously put some in Spirit so you can regain it when you're not in combat as well. You essentially just need Blessing of Wisdom for now. Maybe level 30, there may be more, I may go, actually guys, look at this is so much better. But at low level, Blessing of Wisdom is great. You haven't got that much mana, so you're not draining it just to use this regen spell, but actually it's pretty cool. And then at level 14, you want to get Renew. Renew is a dot, so it's the least mana using dot, but with a pretty good output of heals in comparison to the mana gain. Like, you could say, but rejuvenation or regeneration on the druid tree, druid abilities is better. Yeah, it's better, but the mana gen is 30 more mana at this level. So if you're willing to spend that much more mana and spam Life Tap even more, then fine, go for it. But I wasn't. I want a build that I don't have to spam Life Tap unless I'm desperately necessary. Unless my tank is about to die and I need mana to heal him. It's a just in case ability rather than a spam ability. That's the essence of Life Tap on this build. And then at 16, which is the level you should go into a dungeon, is Resurrection. Now, there are a lot of resurrections, and there are 3 that look the same. The main one you've got to look out for is don't go Shaman or Druid. The Paladin Holy Ones and the Priest Discipline Holy Ones are excellent. The thing you want to go for is just one that gives the most amount of health and mana once you come out of death. So once you're rejuvenated or resurrected or anked, as people say in raids now because they've got the ank ability, you want to give the person that's alive the most amount of health and mana to be able to survive, and if they've got to heal themselves, so you're not having to use all your mana to get this guy up, and you're like, oh shit, now I've got to do the same to me. So I think it's the priest one, but obviously it's preference. If you don't like priest resurrections, or you don't want to go fully priest, or you're druid and you don't like that aspect, it's great to go for the one that you're comfortable with. But obviously during raids, as I'm now raiding, there are certain bosses that mean that you can't cast that certain school for spellcasters and healers. So if you're all in nature, so like a druid or a shaman, and you're not got any like holy heals or anything, you're scuppered. You're essentially just a waste of space, because the instant that they cast this school thing ability that stops you casting in that certain school, you're screwed. Your HPS drops to 0, and you may as well just run in the lava. So you need to balance that later on, but obviously when you start off, priests are excellent. And as you can see, I use my Frostbolt and I use a lot of the damage dealing abilities during this playthrough, and I'm doing 15 DPS with a bit of heals as well here and there. So it's not a 0 damage build either. It's kind of like a Holy Paladin alive right now, because they can do a massive ton of damage, but obviously I can't because it's vanilla and I'll die. But yeah, so that's essentially it. Hope you enjoyed the build and I hope you like it. It's still in work in progress, I have to admit, as I've added a few heal abilities and a few other talents wise to it. Talents, I recommend going in a 1 in Druid, which gives an 8% mana reduction while casting. It's like the 3rd tree down, so I think that's level 20 above. And then there's one in the Holy Priest, I think, or Discipline Priest. They're essentially the same thing, that increases your mana regen by 17%, but obviously it increases your damage taken by a little bit. But if your mana regen's there, you can kind of outweigh that with dots and shields and things like that. So you want to stack mana regen and talents, but also you want to stack some reductions, some physical reductions, and some essentially reduction in cast time and mana requirement for spells. And this is quite a big deal in healing builds, that you need to have the lowest amount of mana usage per ability as possible, so you can heal longer and higher rather than heal loads and then nothing for a while. And that's why essentially Lifetap's excellent. But the other issue with this build is it's still a work in progress and it's quite low, and I'm not a big fan of gnomes, unfortunately, but gnomes have this mana, the intellect racial, that gives you 5% more intellect, I think. It's different on live, but yeah, gnomes are a good spellcasters and healers. But obviously I recommend this build if you like healers, as it's mine, and it's really quite fun to play because you're not locked into one role. You can always go queue for a DPS if you feel like DPSing. You can always go queue for a heal if you feel like healing. You can always, if your tank is AFK, you've got your Void Walker there to maybe pull a few mobs, maybe make a bit of progress while you're waiting. And Void Walkers are quite popular, and that's essentially it. Now guys, so thanks for watching, and thanks for coming by, and remember to like, subscribe, and share the videos, and check out my other ones. They'll be in the cards in the top left hand corner for you, and I'll see you next time for another build video. This updated one should be coming out before the end of November, if I can be bothered to level it, or if I'm not diehard into raiding. But yeah, hope this build works for you, and if you have any concerns about things like talents or anything, I can always answer them in the comments down below. But essentially with talents, you just got to reduce the heals cast time. I've put a little bit in things like Drain Soul and Life Tap to increase the amount of mana and increase the amount of damage it does, and increase the chance of getting your soul shard in case I lose them all for some reason. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Remember to like, subscribe. See ya. Bye.